So this morning for my morning devotions, I was going through 1 Corinthians, going through that section that talks about how we as Christians are one body. We're all different parts and we all have different perspectives and we all have different functions and uses within the body, but we are one body. And for that body to work together well, it really has to trust each other. It has to trust and accept what's going on in other parts of the body and in other different places. And I think trust is something that's really difficult for many of us. Trust in somebody else, particularly when that opinion is different than our own. And I think right now, especially in our world, trusting the other, the one that has a different perspective, seeing them from a good light, accepting that they might have something to offer us, realizing that we don't know it all, man, these are all things that are really difficult for us. And it's a journey that I continue to go on as well. When I did my certificate of social innovation at Simon Fraser University in BC, one of the things that I realized was if we want to create change within a particular community, one of the main things that we need to do is increase a sense of trust within each other, including and starting with myself. So I wrote this ode to improv, I put it, and this is my kind of final project. It's essentially spoken word. At that point I had it memorized and then I delivered it, but I want to read it to you because it kind of expresses that journey from a place of wanting to control to a place of trust. So let's begin with a quote, as all good stories should. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people together to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. This is from Antoine de Saint-Exupery. Thank you for your advice to me, to work against the urge to manage, to acknowledge the vantage of the average and encourage the pilgrimage of the scrimmage, to leave behind the oration and to open up to the frustration of collaborative creation, to follow the rules of improvisation, to say yes, and to add new info, to listen, to support, to save your partners and not to block. Now, these are new ways to see what is emerging, new ways to be in the midst of change, at least they are for me. To live with arms wide open to community, to those encroaching on my territory, to those seeking to change my story? No. I want to set things in order, to create a plot arc like no other, to shape believable characters whom everyone will love, to deepen the conflict and heighten the tension, to hint at possibilities that I will mention later. Collect the info and get a feel for the big picture. Map it all out, clarify the problem, and identify all the leverage points. And then, only when the audience can't stand it anymore, will I resolve the tension by revealing the solution, my solution. Control the story, then control the world. At least, that's what I used to think. Now, if you've figured this, let me know, because this is the way that I still would prefer to go, but for now, I roll with the punches. I act on other people's hunches. I fill out the sketches made by those living around the edges, create space for the story to grow, nurture it, support it, encourage it. Trust. Trust the direction the story wants to go, even if I am not the maestro. And I think trust is key for me to trust you and you to trust me. Trust that I will value your contribution and trust that you will value mine. Trust that others come with similar passion. Trust that in the end something good will ripen. So I am working to leave behind the oration, to open up to the frustration of collaborative creation, and to follow the rules of improvisation, to say yes, and to add new info, to listen and support and save your partners, to not block and here, most of all, to trust. These are new ways to see what is emerging, new ways to be in the midst of change, at least they were for me. So, if you want to build a ship, Don't drum up people together to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. Yes, thank you, Saint Antoine de Saint-Exupery. So I would encourage you to trust those around you. Don't always have to agree, but trust that they come with the same kind of passion and that they might actually have something to offer. Trust, particularly in a Christian community, that we are all one body together.